What's up, guys? So I've actually been wanting to do this video for a very long time. I just haven't had a time where I've decided to do other story time type videos. But as you guys see in the title of the video, I am going to give you guys the real and the raw when it comes to being a flight attendant. As you guys know, or some of you might not know, I used to be a flight attendant. I would not disclose the company that I used to work for, but I was a flight attendant back in 2017. So 2 years ago, actually going on 3 years ago. So first things first, I'm gonna start off with some tips when it comes to interviewing, and then I'm gonna get into the things that they do not tell you when first becoming a flight attendant. So when it comes to tips on interviewing, I am a pro because I interviewed for years to be a flight attendant before I even got the opportunity. And when I say years, I mean like 4 years interviewing and never got the position until 2017. So first things first is that, of course, flight attendants, they're known to be very friendly, always smiling, great personality, bubbly, all of that. So definitely, like for example, like Delta, American, United, they all do video interviews before you get a face-to-face. So whenever you do your video interview, just make sure that you are talking very clearly, pronouncing your words correctly and clearly, smile, be honest, and I think, if I'm not mistaken, some companies allow you to re-record your answer, if I'm not mistaken. So if you're able to, like, once you get the question or before you even record your answer, rehearse what you're going to say. Like, you don't want to sound like a robot, but you don't want to be stuttering and, talking in circles at the same time. So that's very important. Make sure that you are business casual. So, suit, nice suit, jacket, slacks, skirt, whatever. Hair, they like, pulled up in a bun. Flight attendants have, you can have long hair, but when you're interviewing, you want to have that chic look. So pull it back, bun or something, perfect. Makeup, simple, chic, like a natural beat with a red lip. Red lips are always a go-to when it comes to flight attendants. So, and this is just for the ladies, of course. So I can't give no tips to the fellas other than, the first tips I gave on how to interview. But as far as look, I would say clean cut, nicely shaved, not too much facial hair, and then just look professional, like a nice suit. Even when you go on the face-to-face, same applies. Don't wear no tall stilettos. You want, nice business type shoes. You can wear heels, just nothing too crazy, like no platforms, nothing like that. Because they take all that into consideration. And what a lot of people don't tell you is that when you're in a face-to-face, sometimes they'll sit a group out like in the waiting room and have y'all thinking that, you guys are just waiting, and the whole time they're watching you to see how you interact with other people. Are you being friendly? Are you talking? All of that. So just make sure when you interview, if you get a face-to-face, that's my main tip. Be friendly, talk to everybody, because that's what a flight attendant do. Like you are in contact with people all day, so you have to be a people's person. So they want to see that. So those are my tips when it comes to interviewing. Now, let's get to the nitty-gritty. So most companies, major and regional airlines, when you go to training, it's normally like 4 weeks and it's not paid. So if you know that you're trying to be a flight attendant and you have an interview coming up, save your money. Save your money. That is like one of the biggest tips I can give you. Do not go to training or even starting as a new flight attendant with no money saved up, because you will be in trouble. And this is why I say, so you don't get paid. However, at the end of each week completed, most airlines give you a stipend, like $100, $150. You'll get like a gift card at the end of the week, and you can use that towards whatever you want. Which is, it comes in handy, but you have to complete the week before you can even get the gift card. So, training, when it comes to training, it can get really catty, really petty, because it's a lot of females. Being a flight attendant is a female dominant industry, even though there's plenty guys out there as well that are flight attendants, but is a female industry, so it can get catty. So stay out of trouble, stay out of drama, study, and it's okay to like have a good time too. Like when I was in training, I was out in Phoenix on the opposite side of the country, and I became good friends with a lot of those people. And we went out, on the weekends, had drinks, because training was just Monday through Friday. We had Saturday, Sundays off. So, we would go out or whatever. If we had training in the morning, we may go do something in the afternoon. But you always want to make sure you stay on top of your studying, because the moment you don't pass a test, I think you have one time to retake it, and you only get one retake. So if you failed a test the first week and you retook it and you passed it, boom. But if you fail a test the second week, they might not let you retest and you're out of there. So you don't get the job. So just make sure you stay on top of your studying. And one thing I can say, like if you've been interviewing and you just claiming your flight attendant job, start learning your airport codes. It's a lot of them. So you want to make sure you know that, because I know for the airline I worked for, the first day in training, that was our first test. The very first day was airport codes. So you want to make sure you know your codes. So that's training. Like I said, just stay focused, stay out of trouble, and do what you're supposed to do. Save your money. So you also want to have some money saved up for after training, because what they don't tell you is that more than likely you're not going to be based where you live. So for an example, if you live in Atlanta, Georgia, and you just got a job with Delta, 9 times out of 10, you are not going to be based in Atlanta. Atlanta is like one of the #1 bases, and it's a lot of seniority. So all the older mamas and older, guys who are flight attendants, they have, they're based there automatically. Like, they have seniority. So you're going to be bottom of the totem pole. So you're going to be put where they need the help. So what they don't tell you is that you have to get what is called a crash pad. A crash pad is for flight attendants and pilots or whatever. So basically, like the crash pad I had, I was based in Dulles, Virginia, and my crash pad was a hotel. Well, yeah, it was a hotel. Like someone had. I don't know if it's a hotel, but it's like, those suites. I don't know if the guy owned it or what, but anyway, it had. So you had like 2 pull-out beds in the living room, and it was like a 2-bedroom suite. So you had 2 pull-out beds in the living room. You had a bunk bed in one bedroom, a bunk bed in the other bedroom, 1 bathroom. So it might be like 7 people, 8 people in one crash pad. However, everybody's schedule is different. So 9 times out of 10, everybody won't be there at the same time, so you will have a place to sleep. But crash pads can be very expensive, especially where you're wherever you based. So like I know, like United, they have bases in California, and if I'm not mistaken, I think it's San Francisco. I think and if you hear Lion King in the background, my son is in there watching Lion King for the millionth time. But yeah, so I think United has a base somewhere on the West Coast. And it's very expensive to live in California, so I can only imagine how much their crash pads are. But I think my crash pad, I don't even remember. It was like, was it $270 or something like that a month? Which is not a lot of money, but at the same time, when you're coming out of training, you haven't made no money yet, like you haven't made a paycheck, and you have to pay this money and still have money to eat. Like, it was stressful. Like, I was depending on my family so hard, because I did not know that I needed some money saved up going in to be a flight attendant. So it was kind of like, I was like slapped in the face real hard, real quick. So, and also starting off as a flight attendant, you do not make a lot of money. Yeah, most airlines start off, so mainline airlines start off, I think, like 22, 23 plus. I think Delta like $27. So it just depends. If you do regional, you're probably gonna start off like $15, $16 at the most, if I'm not mistaken. And it's per flight hour. So that's another thing they don't tell you. So when you're a flight attendant, you get paid when the wheels, Some airlines pay you when the door closes, and some airlines you don't get paid until the wheels are off the ground. So yeah, and it's per flight hours. So if you work a hour 30-minute flight, you're getting paid for the hour and 30 minutes. And the crazy thing is, you could have been on duty for 12 hours, but you only. So before I was rudely interrupted by my little man here, so I'm sorry if you hear him, but I'm gonna go ahead and finish this video, and he will not leave me alone. So like I was saying, you could have had a 10-hour day, like on duty for 10 hours a day, and you only flew 5 hours. You're only getting paid for those 5 hours. However, if you're on a 4-day trip or a 3-day trip, you're gonna get per diem. So you're gonna get your per flight hour pay, and then you might get like $2 per minute that you're on that trip. So that's a good thing, and that adds up fairly quickly. He is so destructive. I can never record a video in peace unless he's gone with his dad. But anyway, yeah, so that per diem, it adds up really fast. So another thing I want to talk about is that when you're a new flight attendant, more than likely you're going to be on reserve. So you have two different types of reserve. You have ready reserve and you have regular reserve. Ready reserve is when you are in the airport, uniform on, ready, waiting to be called for a flight. You may get called for a flight, you might not. But you have to be in the airport because they can call you and say, hey, we need you at gate B14 right now. So you got to grab your bags and run to gate B14 and work a flight. So that's ready reserve. Regular reserve is when you can be at home and you're on call. So they may call you and say, it may be noon. They may call you and say, hey, Chenel, we need you at the airport by 4 o'clock today to work a flight. Okay, so then you have time to get yourself together and get to the airport to work your flight at 4. So those are the difference between regular and ready reserve. So in order to hold a line, it just comes with seniority, and it just depends on how many lines they have available, how many flight attendants have seniority above you, when you can get a line. And when you have a line, basically you know your whole month schedule. I mean, you know your whole schedule a month in advance. So you're gonna know where all your trips are, your overnights. You can switch, you can drop, give away, whatever. You can do whatever you want with your schedule. So that was a great thing about having a line. You have more freedom, because when you're on reserve, you have no freedom. And when you're in a whole nother state, like away from your family and friends, it can get very lonely and depressing. So if you're the type of person that don't mind being away from family, don't mind being away from family, being gone long periods of time, only home for a day or two, it's a perfect job for you. But if those things sound like, I don't know, being a flight attendant might not be for you, because you are hardly home. Unless, like I said, unless you have a line where you can drop, give away your schedule or whatever and make your own vacation, then it's fine. But when you are a new flight attendant, more than likely you are not going to have a life, and it's going to be very, very lonely. So what else? But on the other hand, I don't want to just talk about the bad, but I just don't like people to be caught off guard. You know what I'm saying? Like, I wish people would have told me these things before I signed up to be a flight attendant. Being a flight attendant was always a dream job for me, but when I actually experienced it, I realized very quickly that it was not for me. However, if I have more kids in the future and they get older, maybe I wouldn't mind going back to be a flight attendant. That way I can add them to my benefits and they can travel with me. We can go see the world. Because that's one of the main benefits about being a flight attendant. You travel for free. Not only are you working, like visiting these different cities and countries, whatever, on your off day, if you want to travel somewhere, if it's domestic, like within the United States, 9 times out of 10, you're not going to pay anything for your flight. The most you may pay if you want to be upgraded to first class is like $12. Probably not even that, because most times the agent will bump you up if there's a seat for free. So, and then like if you travel like overseas, out the country or whatever, you just have to pay the taxes on a flight, which is not a lot of money at all. I can't tell you what the taxes are now because it's been 2 years since I flew, but it's not expensive at all. I remember one time I met some flight attendants in this Facebook group I was in, And one day we was like, who want to meet up in Miami tomorrow? And 4 of us, like from 4 different locations. I think one of them actually was based in Miami because they worked for American. One of the girls, she was just home that weekend and she lived in Valdosta. And the other girl, she was based in Newark, Jersey, New York somewhere. And we all flew to Miami early that morning, like 6 o'clock in the morning. We hung out all day and then flew home that evening. One of the best days I ever had. So, you know, you have your pros and your cons when it comes to being a flight attendant. I definitely say weigh out your options and decide if it's something that you would like to do. It's worth it. Like I said, if you're single, you don't have any kids, and you don't mind being away from home, it might be the perfect job for you. Like I said, just weigh out your options. So I could not wait to record this video. I hope some of you guys find this helpful. If you have any other questions about, you know, interviewing, training, anything like that, hit me up. I'll be more than happy to answer your questions. And I hope you guys have a great day. And don't forget to subscribe. If you like the vibe of my channel, subscribe. I would love to have you. And I'll see you guys in the next video. Peace.